So I have the pleasure of introducing, come on up here so I don't have to crane my neck. I have the pleasure of introducing our teacher for this evening. No stranger, of course, our high school intern, Zach Gondelman, as you will hear, has been with us supporting not only our clergy team, but all facets of this community for several years. And Zach, I just want to say this beautiful prayer that you and Asher rendered for us, Emet ve'emunah, the two of you, but you are Emet, truth, and emunah, faith. You give that to us. This gift that these young leaders give to our community is quite extraordinary. Zach, you have been my teacher. This is when the student becomes the teacher, which in Judaism is quite an extraordinary thing. Zach has spent many hours teaching our youth as a madrich in our synagogue, also has become my teacher because there is not a moment that Zach does not think critically or ask an important question, and that helps me learn as well. It has been a true pleasure to learn alongside with you and to have your support, your deep support in helping us grow our community with such love, truth, and faith. So Zach has the pleasure of teaching us this evening, and I know we will enjoy. Go ahead.
Thank you so much, Rabbi. Can I get a hug? Thank you. You're awesome. Shabbat shalom, everyone. I will just begin by saying that I am so incredibly touched and grateful, and told myself I would not cry within the first 5 minutes, but just please know from the bottom of my, yes, for the last 5 minutes, please know from the bottom of my heart, I am just so incredibly grateful. Almost 4 years ago, I wrote this letter. Dear Cantor Sufrin and Cantor Zell, it's Zach, but you probably already know that from this email. It's that time of year when high school students begin to figure out internships and summer plans. When I think about what I genuinely love doing, my mind always returns to the same thing, the time I have spent with both of you at TBE. I am beyond fortunate to have had the opportunity to watch and learn from you. Thank you for your genuine interest in my growth. Looking forward, I'm hoping to spend this summer doing something related to my career goal. Crazy question. Is there anything I can do this summer that would help you and allow me the opportunity to spend some more time with you? I would love to speak with you about this and would welcome any ideas you might have. Thank you in advance. Yours truly, Zach Gondelman, Thursday, January 3rd, 2019, 15 years old. There I was, a kid, just starting high school, only about 5 feet tall. I didn't even play the guitar. I didn't know my way around a Siddur, never mind the Torah scroll, and I certainly wouldn't be comfortable giving a devar. But I sent that initial message because I was a kid who loved this place more than anything and wanted to explore myself and my interests here. So the Cantors said yes. And after that email and some conversations with the clergy team, I began what was then a summer internship here at TBE. That initial summer was about me in many ways. As I said in the letter, when I thought about what I loved to do most, it was to be in this place at all times. In fact, when I was little, I used to say that I really wanted to be Cantor Jody when I grow up. And don't worry, the same is true today. I still want to be Cantor Jody when I grow up. Jody, you have taught me what true poise and grace look like, and I am forever grateful for the example you set. I often joke that if in my whole life I end up with 1/10 of Cantor Sufrin's grace, God will have surely been involved. And just like that, we were off. With the help of the Cantors, Team TBE created a list of things that I could work on in my first 3 months. From leading music with Cantor Zell and Gan Elohim, to organizing the resource room, to creating little flashcards with cartoons of our Hebrew alphabet so that our littlest learners might be able to learn it. we accomplished many small but mighty synagogue tasks. A number of weeks into my internship, Cantor Zell and I were meeting in her office, and she proposed that I take on a leadership role during Shabbat services. I was terrified. But with the constant encouragement and love and true mentorship of Cantor Zell, Shabbat soon became my favorite thing. I don't know if you all remember this, but when I started, I used to back away from the microphone as the prayer started to absolutely ensure I wouldn't be heard by the end. To this, Cantor Zell would take the neck of her guitar and gently nudge me back to the microphone so that I could be heard once again. And that became our little game. That summer, I learned from Cantor Zell that there's something remarkably different about performing musical theater than leading in prayer. For in musical theater, it's about the individual. And in prayer, it is about all of us joining in song together. A few weeks ago, I was looking for a text to describe the magic of our working together with commonality of purpose these past years, and I landed on one of my favorite quotes from the Babylonian Talmud. In the Babylonian Talmud, Shavuot 39a, we read, Kol Yisrael aravim zeh bazeh. All the Jewish people are responsible for each other. We have a responsibility to one another, we read, to help each person feel a part of our community. Throughout those early weeks of the summer, I was still just figuring out who I was and my place here at TBE. On one of the last days of summer that year, I stepped in for Cantor Zell to lead music in Gan Elohim. And earlier that summer, the Gan Elohim students had affectionately named me Cantor Shauna's little friend. So when I came in instead of Cantor Zell, one little girl stops me right at the door. "Who are you?" she exclaimed. To which I said, "I'm Cantor Shauna's little friend." And she said, "Oh, so you're a cantor?" And I said, "Nope, but hopefully one day." And she said, Cantor Shauna's little friend is not a cantor. I think I'll call you Cantor ish, because you're kind of like a cantor, but ish. And after that song session ended, I went upstairs and told Emily Kaczynski, our incredible buildings and operations director, we were both in stitches. And the next day, sitting on my desk was a name tag that read in all capital letters, Zach Gondelman, Cantor, ish. And it was in that exact moment that I knew I had found my home and true passion here at TBE, because I felt like I belonged. At TBE, we are each blessed with a role to play: congregant, lay leader or staff, learner, teacher, doer, believer, singer. And there's an unparalleled synergy between us because we have a place here. Kol Yisrael aravim zeh bazeh, we're responsible for one another. And it was during the middle of my internship and leading throughout the pandemic and learning where I really began to find my footing as TBE's intern. Or as some still say, Cantor Shauna's little friend. During the pandemic, like everyone, we pivoted, and I helped to create the TBE Zoom Sidur, visual tefillah, and with the inspiration of Cantor Sufrin and Zell, alongside Asher Novisky and Sarah Schiller and many other teens, we tried to create an outlet for engaging with Jewish music through TBE Online and through our social media platforms. This was the birth of Ada's Mirot, where each week, Asher and I would record and release a Jewish song to help folks bring in Shabbat and feel plugged in and feel like they belonged. And with members of the Music Madrichim, we made weekly recordings for all of our youngest learners of our favorite Jewish songs. Once we started to re-enter the building, I took on a new role at TBE, perhaps my most favorite. I rolled the Torah. As you know, for much of COVID, we had those big plexiglass boxes on the bima, and the Torah remained in the b'mitzvah students' box, separate from clergy. Yes, there were times where it didn't feel like we were Kol Yisrael all together. And so it became my job to help bridge the distance between us in little ways. I rolled and marked every Torah portion with every b'mitzvah student's starting words, which helps because, as you know, there are no vowels or page numbers in the Torah. It became my little project. I'd run into the sanctuary, mark 3 to 5 Torah portions every week. And this brought me meaning because I was able to provide a little comfort and security to our students when a member of clergy couldn't literally be right beside them at their bar mitzvah. Kol Yisrael Aravim Zeh Bazeh, all the Jewish people are responsible for each other. It's a remarkable statement. And this evening, I wanted to uplift that notion of collective responsibility, that idea that even though we're a small people and the problems are big, we have a responsibility to look out for each other and to make a difference in our world. I like to think that in this passage, our sages are almost challenging us to make tikkun olam a team sport. But this evening, I wanted to uplift that notion of collective responsibility because in many ways, it's been the guiding principle of my leadership here at TBE these past 4 years. But beyond that, our last year we shared together really taught me what that quote means. Almost a year ago to date, I shared my coming out story and my truth with our larger community. It was at that moment that I began to understand what our sages are truly getting at. When I was authentic and vulnerable, you met me with true love, true compassion, and true community. I have always felt that TBE is a microcosm of the world in the best way. We have a magic here, and I am beyond blessed to call TBE home. It is that very notion of gratitude that actually turns me to this week's Torah portion, Nasso. For in this week's Parsha, we read the words of the priestly benediction. Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you and keep you. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'kunecha, we read. May God's light shine upon you and be gracious to you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God grant you shalom, peace. Traditionally, this blessing is given with one's hands touching the recipient. I think that this is because our rabbis know that true blessings only happen when we get our hands dirty, when we hold each other accountable, and when we work together, and when we have contact with that which we are blessing. This last year has been about all of us, working together to look inward, to reflect, and see how we can leave our world just a little bit better. Kol Yisrael, we're in this journey together. And it is with abundant gratitude and excitement that I share that next year I will be joining the Brandeis class of 2026, actually putting me 22 minutes closer to TBE than I am now. I Google Mapsed it. And I am excited to continue to play an active role in the life of our community, coming back for the High Holy Days and continuing to play a role in diversity, equity, inclusion, and justice work here at TBE. Little did I know in 2019 that my role here at TBE would become one of greater significance and meaning than I could have possibly imagined. Serving as your student intern has been the greatest honor of my life. From baby namings to funerals, from challahs to hugs, I have had the privilege of being present for and walking alongside you during some of life's most precious milestones and challenging moments. May we continue to walk alongside each other for years to come, embracing each other with compassion and responsibility. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. This evening, I have one more letter to share with you all, dated today's date, June 10th, 2022. It reads, Dear Cantor Sufrin, Cantor Zell, Rabbi Sissenwein, Rabbi Sapphire, Rabbi Sherman, Rabbi Harper, Cantor Rosenberg, and student Rabbi Lesner. It's Zach, but I am absolutely sure that you already know that from this sermon. It is that time of year when high school seniors, like me, begin to find out what their plans are for next year. When I think about what I genuinely love doing, my mind always returns to the same thing: the time I have spent with all of you at TBE. I am beyond fortunate to have had the opportunity to watch and learn from you. Thank you for your interest in my growth. And thank you for taking a chance on a 15-year-old who sent an email. Looking forward, I have a crazy question. I have no idea what the next 4 years will hold, but can we do them together again? I love you all so very much, and I can't wait to bring in the new year together and share in so much more sacred time. I'd love to speak with you about this and welcome any ideas you might have. Thank you in advance. Yours truly, Zach Gondelman, Friday, June 10th, 2022, age 18. Shabbat Shalom and happy Pride Month.